And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
It's still not going to be as good of a movie as Creed.
Yeah.
But it could be fun, maybe.
Like all boxing movies, this is going to stand or fall on the quality of its montage.
Absolutely, Mike, absolutely.
Nice one, Mike. Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle? Season 10, Episode 12, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me I have a man who says if you're confident enough, every zoo is a petting zoo. It's Mike McDonough. Also beside me I have a lady who says 99% of people are stupid. Luckily she's part of the other 3%. It's Shona. I love Canadian. O'Flaherty. Live from Vegas with a man who says that Viagra doesn't make him James Bond, but it sure does help him Roger Moore. It's Sean Leonard. Sorry. And in the red corner.
I don't get it.
I'll explain it to you in a minute. And in the red corner, it's our cuddly killer.
Not enough Viagra then, Sean.
Yeah. And in the red corner, it's our cuddly killer. A man who burned 3,000 calories today by not switching off the oven in time. It's Mark, superhero Leonard. This week we'll be discussing a movie in the shape of Anomalisa and some TV in the form of Flaked and Underground. Of course, we'll have some of the usuals with the news and some previews. And comes to a bicycle near you. So how's it going?
So can you explain that intro?
Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can Roger Moore.
Yeah.
You can also Roger a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a verb?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. That's perfect explanation.
Pin has dropped.
Yeah. So I guess, is that everyone from North America didn't get it?
Yeah.
Maybe everybody else is just better versed in sex puns than me.
Oh, okay. That's actually probably a very good point, actually. There. Yeah, so how are we doing?
Yeah, good. There's fresh cake in the Is It a Bicycle studio tonight. Mike's been baking.
I have, yes. There's no end to my talents.
You dark horse, Michael.
What's that?
You dark horse.
Yeah, there you go.
Who knew you could turn your dark and twisted mind to baking?
Yay! Everybody wins. I was having salmon teriyaki with sesame seeds this week for dinner, and I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll call Mike, see if he wants to come over for dinner.
Nice.
But then I ate all the dinners just to save you from being poisoned.
Did you eat the diners as well?
Did I eat the diners?
A la Hannibal?
People who are eating.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't eat people.
Yeah.
I just eat food.
You're missing out on so much, Shona.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a slow week for me. I'm just going to sit here with my tea. How's everyone else?
I think Mike meant you were missing out on by not eating people. I don't think he meant you were just missing his jokes.
Oh.
Because Mike is quite nice. I would have then jumped in and said, well, the latter is also true.
This week in Is It a Bicycle, Mark becomes the Shona Whisperer and explains everything.
The Shona Whisperer. Yeah. Very good. So what did we watch this week?
So Paddy's Day
Quite some
happened.
folks. Oh, yeah. We could talk about that, actually. Good point.
Paddy's Day,
Yeah.
or St. Patrick's Day, as it is known to the rest of the world that don't
wait.
speak the Irish colloquial.
You know what really kills me is people who call it Patty's Day.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that
Oh,
nasty?
man. That gets my goat. It really like.
Yeah, that grinds my gears as well.
God
Yeah.
damn it. You know, who the fuck is Patty? Patricia? Who the fuck is Patricia?
Yeah, no. It's when they serve green burgers.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Patties.
Well, I have no real problem with green anything, but just that Paddy thing, I hadn't thought about it, Steve. I didn't hear anyone say it this year.
Oh,
But yeah, that is a balls.
somebody did say it to me and they were reprimanded very, very fiercely.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah, they won't say it again. They'll tell you that.
Good.
Not to me, anyway. Yeah.
Fair play, dude. Fair play.
They won't be saying much of anything.
Went down with a nice Chianti.
So, did anybody see anything exciting in the parades?
Mike did.
Yes, I saw the Colchon truck
Yeah.
gleaming in the spring sunlight.
The what?
The Colchon truck.
Colchon.
This is the highlight of my year. Colchon is a bitumen provider.
What's bitumen?
They use it for making roads and stuff like
Okay.
that. Yeah. And every year, for some reason that nobody has ever figured out, the Colchon truck is part of our St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, there's two of them. There's two of them, and they're chrome. And the trailers are big
Yeah.
tankers, but
Oh,
they're
wow.
chrome as well.
They polish
yeah,
the shit out of them. You'd
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
blind yourself, just looking at the sun reflecting off these things.
I got a good picture of Mike taking a picture of it.
That's so meta.
Yeah.
So every year, we don't go down to, celebrate nationality or see the little kids doing their thing or whatever. We go down for the sole reason to see that
See the
damn
Colchon,
Colchon truck.
Gee, I was so looking forward to going to the parade this year because I finally have a child that makes, it makes it less weird, I suppose, to go to St. Patrick's Day parade in a town
Yeah.
like where we live. But then I'm doing sleep training at the moment, and her second nap went at the wrong time, so the third nap couldn't happen. And instead, I'm supposed to. She's allowed a third nap, but it's not allowed to be in her bed.
That's
So
the
I
same
had-
with you, Mike, isn't it?
So I had to take her for a drive, so
Right.
I couldn't see the parade. So.
You could have actually been in the parade. If you just followed the Colchon truck, you would have been
Oh, that happened.
I missed an opportunity.
That was one of the most. That was the hilarious thing. This year's parade. It's all floats and marching bands and kids and so on. And then there's a line of classic cars, and then at the end of it, somebody had taken a wrong turn, and they ended up in the parade. in like a 2004 Opel Corsa or something. And there was obviously a husband and wife, and I think they were like early 60s or something.
The wife was
She
mortified.
was dying. She had the head. They were in bits laughing, but she just had the head down.
And everybody they
Everyone
passed
was
started
laughing.
cheering and clapping. And it just made it worse.
It was so funny. Yeah.
Sean, remind me, are there St. Patrick's Day parades in North America? I was asked by my husband what
yeah.
the St. Patrick's Day parades were like where I come from, and I was like, I don't know if we have them. I don't remember.
Well, the Ottawa
Very
Valley is full of Orangemen, so they probably would have run the Patrick's Day parade guys out of it. But
They're huge. They're the biggest St. Patrick's thing I ever went to was in Chicago. And that's just several disorganized mobs in vague directions, but eventually forming into one super parade. And then the parade ends, and then the people just stay there and continue to drink as the river that runs through the city turns green, and inexplicably bagpipers on speedboats just kind of go up and down it, confusing people about culture. So yes.
I was in the St. Patrick's Day parade in Seoul. So
Were you?
yes, yeah. So yeah, they are everywhere. Yeah.
and how big would the Seoul Patrick's Day parade
It was probably twice the size of the Oranmore one.
Okay.
But that's it wasn't huge. But
So it wasn't just
big.
you staggering home after
No,
all nighter,
no,
like
yeah, wearing a green jumper. No. It was
Puke running
it was
down your
actually
chest.
organized. Yeah. Anyway, how was your St. Patrick's Day up north, Mark?
Well, I didn't do very much, Steve, this year, so I'll make up for it next year, I'm sure. But I did do the traditional Irish thing of drinking on Patrick's Day. So, I acquired alcohol and I drank it. I felt like it was a job well done.
yeah. You're a credit to your nation, Mark.
I have
Cut to
I
the
have
chase,
I have an excellent segue actually for you. While I was doing that, I watched Braveheart again.
Hey,
Did you watch it on your new TV?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did. Excellent.
did you watch it on your knees?
I'm confused if it's the same Braveheart that I saw. But anyway, I watched it again. I haven't watched it now in years and years.
Yeah.
So
Great day
I
for
was going, oh yeah, but I'm going to blame some of this on the alcohol, but I cried the whole way through it, pretty much. I think Braveheart can't be spoiled at this point.
No.
But at the start, when Mirren shows up, after he's a young lad, when they get the young boys stuff out of the way, which I'd forgotten about. I forgot that they were kids at the start.
Yeah.
Then he comes back to the village and he catches her eye, I immediately started crying because I was like, but I know it's going to happen. So, and it didn't get much better from there.
Actually, it just reminded me of probably the best headline that a girl has ever had. When that movie first came out, they had the premiere in Edinburgh, and Liam Neeson was there, and he was going up the red carpet with the girl who played Myrn, whose name escapes me. But yeah, she went up the carpet arm in arm with Liam Neeson, and the headlines the next day in the paper was, edge to edge. Who is that girl?
Oh, really?
So now I am somebody.
This is not entertainment related, but the best/worst headline I ever read was during the trials for Bill Clinton's impeachment and whether or not certain articles were going to be allowed into his impeachment trial. And the fourth item that was under question was going to be permitted into the trial. So the headline the next day read, "Another blow for Clinton." And it's just, it's one I've never forgotten.
And the subheading was, "Will they address this?"
Yeah.
Sorry.
I saw something called The Division,
Oh, yeah?
Agent Origins. Anyone else see this?
I also saw this.
Did you?
I
Oh,
did.
okay, great.
Yeah.
So this is about a pandemic that sweeps across or through New York, and there's a certain set of agents that are activated when in the time of like zombie apocalypse or pandemic or so on.
Really great need.
Yeah, and so yeah, as society collapses into chaos, they organize it and save stuff and people. Yeah. So is it a miniserie web series based on the game?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and Tom Clancy movies. Yeah.
Gotta love Tom Clancy movies.
Yeah, it's based on the video game by Ubisoft. And it's good. It's good. It's worth a look. It's only, I thought it was going to be movie length, but it's actually a web series of 30 minutes chunks. I think there's 6 of them. But yeah, did you like it?
I did like it very much, but I had a slight problem with the structure because they kept on repeating the same backstory.
Yeah.
You've, I don't know, 6 agents or whatever.
Yeah.
So they get 5 minutes each, and it's all, form up on me kind of thing at the end of each segment. I'm like, you could have done all of that in about 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And then given us some story,
Yeah.
But it looks cool. Like you have lots of people to shoot. Some highly skilled people with guns for shooting. And a limited playground in which to do the shooting.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's pretty much
what
it.
more do you want?
Yeah. I'd recommend it. Give it a look. Yeah. It's worth a look, all right. Yeah.
Good tack.
Yeah. What else was on this week? Who watched Criminal Minds Beyond Borders? Was that me?
I'm sure as fuck wasn't me.
I think it was me. Just me, was it? Yeah. I think I put this on just to warn everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a skip.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we all did.
Yeah. And that's all that needs to be said. And who watched Sisters?
I did.
Tell us.
Oh, God.
Is that the Tina Fey
not a good
Amy
start.
Poehler movie?
Yeah.
Oh, the
And
hilarious looking movie.
I never got to see it, but it stars people I like. Tell me about it, Mark.
Amy Poehler. Oh, yeah.
So, I have never liked anything Tina Fey has ever done, ever.
Oh, okay.
And it's usually with dismay that I look at any Tina Fey thing that comes on the podcast list, because I know that both you and Sean are going to go balls out about it.
No, there was that movie I didn't like that she did with
Oh, the one where
Jason
they were
Bateman.
urinating on the pavement.
What? No, I don't know. Someone died.
That was your Patrick's Day.
So, no, not that one.
Okay,
No.
not that one.
So I wasn't a huge fan of the Sisters. It had a couple of chuckles in it, but no real belly laughs from me.
My safe word is keep going.
That was why I watched it, because you mentioned that John Cena had a cameo in that as well, and he's the cameo king. And he's great, he is great, but it's just, no. It didn't work for me. And I thought Tina Fey was the problem, to be honest. She just wasn't convincing, I thought, in her character. I felt like it was a different kind of character for her. She was playing the kind of I suppose in Ireland you'd call her a messer.
Right.
She was a hot mess.
Okay.
No, someone that's just out for the crack,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, a wise ass, maybe, would you call them that globally? Anyway, I didn't enjoy it very much. I wouldn't recommend it. There are funnier things around. Watch Deadpool instead.
I also saw this film.
Oh.
Nah.
And?
And I think
Oh, God, here we go.
No, I take Mark's point because so Tina Fey's character is this immature, irresponsible mother who needs to sort her fucking life out. And that gets set up early on. And then there's this, like, the plot of the film is basically centered around a party that they're having at their old house before their parents sell it, you know? And there's all this hilarity and hijinks, but every now and then you get reminded of this kind of crushing existential issue of her just being kind of unfit to be a parent.
Right.
So every now and then that pops up because, and I'm sure this is because Tina Fey was, you know, on purpose acting it that way. But every now and then that would pop up and I would kind of go, it's less of a party now. John Leguizamo was fun earlier on when he was talking about all the drugs they used to do, but now, yep, that's the choices that have led her to here. So then you go back to Amy Poehler and all this, like, party. And then I think structurally it falls apart at the end.
It is a mess at the end, yeah.
It kind of just has a fade out rather than like a full stop.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it is definitely flawed in a lot of ways, but I did laugh at a lot of it in the middle. There are definitely funnier movies, but I think if you like them enough, you should probably still go see it.
Is Tina Fey still your favorite person in the whole world?
I mean, she's alright. She's fine.
So what, if you were to mark it out of 10, what are we talking?
Oh, I'd probably give it a 6.
6. Mark?
I want to know, Sean, if you had to give Tina Fey a mark as a person, what would you give her?
Are we talking about morally or like in terms of her entertainment capabilities?
Yes.
Shit, man. I'd probably give her like a 9. She's a great writer.
I would give the film a 5. I don't have a general opinion on Tina Fey other than I dislike watching stuff with her in it.
Okay. Fair enough, I guess. Yeah. She won't like that. But okay. I let her down easily.
Thanks, Steve.
Sean, tell us a bit about season 2 of Daredevil.
And spoil nothing or I will cut your head off.
She means it, Sean. Someone wearing a jumper with a cuddly dog also wearing a jumper on it.
No, wait. The
Doesn't
dog
make
is wearing a
idle
jumper
threats.
and a sailor's hat.
Oh.
I just want to be
The
clear.
dog on your woolly jumper is
And the
wearing
hat
a
is
sailor's
sparkly.
hat.
It's a sparkly sailor's hat.
It's a
my God.
jumper.
Yeah. Anyways.
So Daredevil season 2 just started up. So we had a little viewing party. Me and my friends, we were eagerly anticipating it. And I don't know what to say beyond everything about the show that I liked about the first season is present again, but more. Like, I genuinely think what I've seen of season 2 is even better than season 1. It still does the kind of interesting graphic novel comic book arc organizational system where, they will have a series of episodes centered around a particular, part of story, and then they'll kind of close that off, and then they'll open up a new branch of storytelling for the next about 4 episodes. It's very philosophical. Anyone who's seen the trailer is aware that this, at least in some ways, at some point, comes down to a clash between Daredevil and the Punisher. The Punisher being another Marvel Universe hero who, instead of beating up bad guys and being like, "Hey cops, here's some bad guys I beat up," the Punisher murders them until they're dead from it. So they don't do any of the slow build from the first few episodes of season 1 with regard to the various antagonists. They just kind of go, "This shit's fucking real and be very careful or everyone will die forever." So yeah, great action sequences. It's really, really sexy. And I think everyone's acting up a storm. And I'm kind of hoping this podcast doesn't take too long so I can go watch the rest of the episodes.
We'll do our best, Sean. Cool. Okay, let's quickly go to the news. Okay, so you know this this movie series Divergente. You know that one we talked about Ali Good Giant last week, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the first in 2-part finale.
Yes.
right? So there's Ascendante that still has to come, and that's due next summer.
Mm-hmm.
But they have apparently quite largely reduced the budget.
Oh, okay.
Due, in
Because
fact,
it's not been successful?
yeah, they came in at 29 million on the opening weekend, as opposed to 55 and 52 for the previous movies.
Oh, that's piss poor, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, I think they made the movies. I think the first one was made for 85, and the following two were made for about 110 million. So you'd imagine they'd go back to at least 85. You know, considering this one's only making 29. But yeah, I think they should probably put it up on the shelf for a while. You know,
Yeah,
considering what's coming out in the summer. I mean, the summer's going to be blockbuster time. You know,
Maybe the problem is that the I don't know English today.
Divergente.
Mark, can you please give my opinion for me?
Every summer is blockbuster summer, though.
Oh yeah, but blockbuster season. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, but like every summer is blockbuster season for the next 10 years. Like Marvel and DC have films planned. They're all big, coming for 10 years, you know.
This is true. But
Probably it's going to be a good time to release it.
the release date is the same date that The Mummy is coming out and Mr. Cruise's new movie is coming out. So they either should like change the date or you know, shelve it for a bit. I don't know if how they're going to make much money with those two coming out on the same day. You know.
Yeah. I think it's fairly sure they're not going to make money anyway. I wonder, Shona, if there were people. This shows that people were aware of the books and their diminishing quality.
Thank you, Mark. That was exactly the point I was trying to make without words, apparently. Yes.
Feel free to
Yes, is that it?
I don't need to elaborate on that, Mark. I said the point I meant to make.
But I would have assumed that people didn't like, because like I read key passages from Twilight in the car park before going in to watch the films. I never read the books. I never read like The Maze Runner or Divergent or any of those. So I kind of thought most people were like me, but I guess maybe they're not.
Maybe the movie's reputation precedes it from the books, and people have just been like, the books just keep getting worse. Stop at one.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you hear that they're talking about remaking The Crow?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised they made
Too
it the first
soon.
time.
I'm with Mike. God, I was
see-
wondering, was I going to be the only one?
No. See, I loved The Crow.
Yeah,
When it
me
came
too. That was one of those films that just like was a movie of an era for me growing up.
Oh, of course it
blew
was.
my
The
mind.
Cure was doing the soundtrack, and he was all goth, and he was, you know,
Oh.
he was
It
Mr.
was,
Lee as
it
well,
was
wasn't
sexy
he?
dark.
Yeah. So, I think
Both Shona and Steve wore the same eye makeup as the Crow at that exact time.
absolutely, yeah. Sugar in the hair, spike it, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. This is Colin Hardy. So I think he's known for, you know, stuff like, you know, Horrors, The Hallow, and so on. You know, so yeah, I think he's going to be doing it. So yeah, I just wouldn't have picked that to be needing a remake. I think it's a bit of a class. It's like remaking Braveheart nearly.
Well, this is,
You know?
this, I think, goes
Oh,
back
they better
to,
not.
I think this goes back to our discussion in the Bikies of most worrying trend. One of which is that like
Yeah.
no one seems to be creative anymore. It's just like take a franchise and make movies out of it. Take a book series, make a movie out of it, and then remake old movies that were popular. And it's just leave the
Most
Crow
worrying
alone.
trend.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
Yeah.
In other news,
Yeah.
the Lego movie, which we all remember from a couple of years back, has an offshoot, spin-off movie coming out.
Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome when you're part of a team.
Focusing on Will Arnett's version of Batman.
Lego
That's
Batman.
right, there's a Lego Batman movie.
Do you know he did what's that lip sync battle, and Will Arnett sang "Everything Is Awesome."
No way, I gotta
I
watch
saw
that.
it last week. Yeah.
That's cool. So Will Arnett, who we'll be talking about later in the podcast, will be voicing the Lego Batman. This version of Batman is much more self-involved, and he's so rich. He's so very, very rich. So it's going to focus on him needing a lot of help from his butler Alfred, voiced by Ralph Fiennes, and about him struggling to be a mentor. Because he's kind of just selfish and doesn't give a shit about other people. To Robin, voiced by Michael Cera, and Batgirl, voiced by Rosario Dawson. And of course, there's going to be various trials and tribulations heaped atop him in the form of Zach Galifianakis' Joker. So excited about that. It's probably going to be very emotional, because of how tough it is to beat Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Rosario Dawson, what did I touch myself to her in?
I think you'd have to tell us more.
Yeah, she was in Sin City.
Sin City, that's right. I found the black and white sexually confusing and arousing at the same time.
No, she was in something last year. Year before last as well that we watched. She was really good in.
Oh, look, an unexpected splash of colour. Sploosh!
What else? Terminator 6. Arnie
I thought they weren't going to do that.
Yeah, well, he says he's looking forward to making it, so it might not be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. That'd be
Interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Governor, the Apprentice, the Celebrity Apprentice, the next season, which also features one of my favourite people, Chael Sonnen.
Oh, no way.
Arnie is the You're Fired guy.
All right.
No way.
Yeah.
Cool.
I suppose
They
Donald...
can't use Trump because he's busy.
Yeah, he'll be busy being president.
Cool.
So I'm really looking forward to that. It's already in the can now. It's in post-production.
Shona, were you here for the Ghostbusters trailer when we talked about it? The new one?
Yes.
You were. And are you excited about this movie?
Yes.
Are you as excited as we are disappointed with the trailer?
This is the woman Ghostbusters? Or the...
If you'd want to call it that, but I didn't want to say.
I don't even see gender.
I wasn't just going to point it out. But...
Leading question 101.
Yeah.
Steve, my answer to that, any question that is on the spot and doesn't give me time to do research or look over my notes. No, this is just because we're talking about it last year, and we were excited about it then. My
with the
answer
lineup.
to you is that I'm a sleep-deprived new mother, and I don't remember anything beyond 5 minutes ago, so I don't even remember seeing the trailer except that we talked about it.
Okay.
So you can tell me if I liked it or not, because I don't remember.
Okay.
We should buy some goldfish. You could have new friends every 5 minutes.
Until I forgot to feed them or overfed them and killed them, and I kill all my friends.
Yep. Keep your shoes on. You're still in the Is It Bicycle studios now, okay? Right. Okay, good.
This isn't that kind of place, Mrs.
Okay, we move on. First of our TV. Mark, do you want to tell us about Flaked?
Yeah, I'd love to, Steve. As soon as I find the notes I made. Flaked, that's Will Arnett, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah.
And he is a recovering alcoholic. Is it an alcoholic he is? Or a drug addict? And he has funny adventures in 30-minute installments on Netflix.
That's one way of putting it.
Way to synopsize.
I think you could have slimmed that down a bit, Mark.
I could expand to say that he has a whole load of issues that are being played out in hilarious fashion while riding bicycles.
Okay, what do we think?
Is it just me, or is he the only guy in California that doesn't have a car?
Isn't it that he's not allowed to drive because of his alcoholism? So,
I didn't pick up on that.
So he drives his bike.
He's also a hipster.
Yeah. Too cool.
My
thing about this episode is that I feel like nothing happened, and I don't care about anybody in the show. Even I think I saw in the credits in the beginning that is Will Arnett a writer on the show as well as one of the actors?
I think he is, yeah.
I think I remember that from the opening sequence, and I love him from Arrested Development, and he was great in the Lego Movie, and so I think he's got good comedic timing. He does good physical comedy. I was curious to see how he would fare as a writer, and I wasn't so crazy about this episode. There was so much like duding and broing that I was just like, it dates itself by about 10 years with that kind of language.
Right. Yeah.
And like kind of nothing happens, but sometimes you can watch a show where nothing happens and it's interesting to watch because it's about characters, but the characters weren't even interesting. And I really like Will Arnett, so I was kind of disappointed. I think he was trying to be a bit more serious as an actor. I liked the closing shots of the episode. It looked nice, but I don't know. I didn't think there was anything in the episode to kind of sink my teeth into. Did anybody else find that?
Well, I think...
Am I missing a level of meaning that's just going over my head?
It did show the power of screenwriting, because, if you're actually writing a script yourself, you can create a world where nubile 20-something-year-old women are really attracted to 40-something-year-old men who don't have any money.
It's so funny that you bring that up, because when I was watching the episode, I was thinking the only kind of book series that I started before and didn't finish was the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series.
Okay.
I read the first book, I found it interesting, and by the third book, I was just so annoyed by it, I threw it out, and I even refused to recycle it, because I'm like, the book doesn't deserve to be recycled. Because it was just, I felt like the author was just like writing in scenarios, being like, and then the male reporter, who's totally not me, gets sexed by the woman, and then he goes into the office, and he has sex with her, and it was totally, self, projection,
So did it hit Divergent on the way into the bin? Or?
But I felt that way about Flaked as well. It was like, of course Will Arnett, like, within about 5 seconds of meeting him, there's like TNA.
Yeah.
And it's like, you wish, Will Arnett.
I was doing a lot of wishing watching this. I was thinking, why doesn't that shit happen to me,
Yeah. And like a woman actually like literally becomes like struck silent because of her attraction to him.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, that does happen to me quite a lot.
It does. It happened the first time I met you, Mike. I can only talk now as long as I don't look you directly in the eye. Things happen otherwise.
Yeah.
Mike's Medusa-like glare. So Will Arnett's character is eminently unlikable, I think, is one of my problems with this show.
I'm with you on
He's
that. Yeah.
just a dick.
Isn't he?
And he's not just a dick. He's a dick who pretends to be otherwise to lots of people.
He's a pretender.
And that just, it's very hard to get along with somebody.
Yeah.
So then everyone around him, I felt a bit of sympathy for. And I'm saying, is that what they want us to do here? We're supposed to because you can't root for someone you dislike, right?
Yeah.
So I was finding it hard to, like, Sean, you've already covered some of this. I was finding it hard to empathize with him in any way.
Yeah.
And I felt myself kind of just feeling sorry for his friends, really.
Yeah, I was just getting annoyed with him.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was nearly annoyed looking at him.
Yeah.
It's just, you bastard.
Well, you didn't feel the attraction.
No. Yeah. No, that's always a problem, isn't it? When you don't like the people that you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It reminded me of Californication a bit.
Except David Duchovny is genuinely attractive.
It's not actually a problem always to have unlikable characters. I think I might be the only one still watching You're the Worst, which I think I brought up at the Bikies was the last time I talked about it.
The person in the world.
Will Arnett's character definitely is unlikable. He is hypocritical. He's surface. The whole pitch for the show is that he's a self-help guru for other alcoholics, but he needs a lot of help himself, and all of his advice is probably total bullshit. He is problematic. Like, him being around is going to make other people's lives worse. And I think if anything happens in the first episode, it's that he knows that. Like, I was wondering for a while, is he just like on autopilot and he's just going to allow anyone who likes him to like him and try and get more people to like him, but he doesn't even realize how shitty he is. So I think the only thing that we see is that, he knows that he is shitty and he doesn't like himself. So I think he is pitiable. And it's interesting, right? I think the bros and the dudes don't date the show. I think that they date the character, because he and a couple of the other characters are 15 years too old, if not more, for the lives that they're living.
They're stuck in a time warp there, yeah.
Which is, I think, why they're going after these girls. I also think that's why the setting is so important. Because it seems to be a haven, for young creatives, and a retirement home for older creatives. So I think that is just an interesting aspect. And I think it does play well with the hipster culture. Not just because it's a show about very little, but it's too cool for that. But because the characters themselves, it's like, what is it? There's an artisanal furniture store that he goes to, and no one ever wants to buy anything, so it's open, but no one comes in, and that somehow still works inexplicably.
Yeah,
these people with more money than sense, and I really think that the end of the episode is moving. I was just going, oh shit, it's way worse than I thought it was. I was like, oh, he's going to get comeuppance, or he's going to get himself in trouble he won't be able to get out of. Then it turns out, no, it's actually way worse than that, because even if he doesn't get in trouble, he is a foundationless person of little to no substance who's becoming less and less of a man every day. So
Sounds like
I'm
a
excited
great
to watch
comedy.
that.
So say that again, Sean.
I'm excited to watch that happening.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I think this is just going to be forgettable, really. You know, I don't see myself watching more of this. Mm-hmm. There wasn't enough of a hook. I didn't like the guy.
See, I think this like Sean's done a better job. I think pinpointing what the show is going to be about.
Yeah.
Than the show itself did, because I didn't get there's a soupçon of what you say, Sean, in what I saw, but
a Susan.
Susan.
Who was she in the show? Was that the name of one of the bicycles?
But I see what you're saying, Sean, and it's a very intelligent analysis of the show. But I don't think watching the show it seems to go that deep. I mean, I'm going to shut up. I can't talk today, but I just don't think the show did as good a job capturing that.
No, you're doing quite well. It's mostly in English. So, yeah.
Maybe Sean
tonight
had written the show.
I'll podcast in French tonight, and Mark can continue to show no whisper.
Well, this is it. I think, Mike, you're at it there. Like Sean, you described a show that I would like to watch, which this show isn't.
Yeah.
And I think Mike is right. You would probably write a better one. But I think you might be right in this one, into what it wanted to be, maybe, but not necessarily how it comes across.
I understand what you're saying. I have also watched more of it than you guys.
Oh.
Spoiler alert for my review.
Oh.
But I generally think that the kombucha shot at the end of the first episode was the hook for me.
The what?
Yeah. The drink
the
that he's on
kombucha shot?
Is this something to do with Suzanne, the bike?
No, kombucha is a very popular hipster drink that he's drinking throughout.
It's crazy healthy, remember?
We actually have some in our fridge.
Did you not feel it was really obvious how that was going to end?
I didn't.
No.
I didn't see that coming.
I was waiting for that for minute 3.
No, I wasn't. I don't know what tipped you off. I was just like, oh.
All right.
Because you know he's going to hurt someone likable.
Yeah.
You know, there's at least 2, if not 3 likable side characters. And you just know that he's going to get involved in this self and outwardly destructive relationships or patterns. Like that, it's going to be about other people surviving him and whether or not he can stop fucking up. And it's like, because he has some amount of likability. I generally do think he has it. It's spoiled by all the shit stuff about him. But I think that there are moments in these exchanges where he has nothing to gain or lose anyway, where he just kind of goes, okay, well, here's some advice. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that there is something that I can see where it'll be like, okay, like you've got so many problems, but like, it's not like you're a boring, bland, like lack. It's just that everything that used to be, personable about you has been overwhelmed by all your insecurity and surface obsession.
So it makes more sense now. So you've watched on a few episodes. So you've had a chance to develop more of a flavour for the show. Can you remember why you watched past episode 1?
Genuinely, it was the ending. Like, I like Will Arnett a lot, which is why I tried the show. And it's executive produced by Mitchell Hurwitz, who created Arrested Development. So I just like those creators. So that's why I watched the first episode. But the kombucha thing then made me go, oh fuck! Now I'm genuinely worried about the havoc that's going to be wreaked by this dude who people don't see him coming. Like, people don't see him coming, and it's going to be a problem.
Which is weird, given how slow he is on the bicycle.
Do you think? How do you think Will Arnett fares then in this kind of pseudo drama? In terms of acting,
I think I like him.
I'm used to seeing him do kind of more like, slapstick comedy or more physical comedy. I remember when he did a sitcom with Christina Applegate about being new parents. That I think was completely underrated and really hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, between that and Arrested Development, I'm just used to seeing him in a more of a comedic role. But this it sounds like a comedy, but really there's a lot more drama to it. So I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't know if I believe him as a serious guy, because I'm always waiting for him to bring up the punchline.
I think what I get from acting is that he really wishes he was a serious guy.
Yeah.
I kind of think he was perfectly cast by himself to play this character. Like, I think that the drama is going to come from when the laughter stops, which might seem like a trite thing to say, but I genuinely think there's going to be a moment where he tries to make his like easy talking charm smooth over something that he's done, and he just won't be able to. And I think that that's where we'll be able to get the real test of him as an actor and the character itself. So I'm interested to see that. I want to see him try.
Yeah, I thought it was actually acted pretty well. I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I thought he was convincing as a bollocks. And I did. There's one scene where he actually apologizes to his buddy for messing his shit up, and that I thought was really well handled. You could, for me anyway, I believed he genuinely felt bad about what he had done. And his friend, it worked very well in the scene. There was a kind of a, bro, I'm really sorry.
Dude, it's okay.
Dude, yeah. But beyond that level, I thought there was a real human interaction there. But that's it. It's fucking shit.
Yeah. I think there was my favorite scene in the episode, which centers on nothing to do with the plot or anything, is a misunderstanding he has with somebody about a free coffee. The way that he handles it.
Yeah. That was very good, actually. Yeah.
It's
I bet you don't pay for your coffee, do you?
never. Sure, a smile and a wink can get you far, Mike. Look, I come in tonight and Isabel's studio hands me tea and cake.
Christ, I'm going to start charging for this shit. Yeah.
So, Mark. Filler?
Oh, complete filler.
Mike.
Filler.
Jonah.
This is filler unless I get through all of the other TV that I'm really excited to watch, like Daredevil and House of Cards. And then if I ever have a spare moment, my baby starts sleeping, I might go back to episode 2.
Oh, okay.
So in about 18 years then.
Pretty much.
Sean.
I'll be like duding and broing at that point, so it'll be 15 years at a date.
It's from me, and I'm looking forward to talking about House of Cards with Jonah soon.
I'm working my way through it. Daredevil's after.
This is filler for me. Yeah. I won't watch any more of this. That's it.
Sean, I'll let you know if I get to episode 2. We can talk.
Okay. First of our movies, our only movie this week is Anomalisa. This is a stop motion movie. Yeah. And I just want to talk about that for a minute because it's so well done that you kind of forget.
So well done.
It's just, I mean, the movements and it looks like
I kind of expected it to be one-dimensional and not very emotive.
Yeah.
Or maybe even childlike because of the medium that they were using. But immediately the film captures you as being grown up, quite emotional and nuanced in a way that I don't think I've ever seen stop motion.
Never.
Before.
Never. And even, they go to the trouble of not, having different camera angles in the same room, and the lighting in it is absolutely amazing. The lighting is really amazing. He looks like he's in a real place, and he looks like a real guy. It's fantastic. And I can't imagine how much time it took to make this, considering the amount of detail. Like even like he's smoking a cigarette. How did they do that?
Yeah.
How did they do the smoke?
Or like when he's on the plane and you see that it's raining outside and there's raindrops on the window.
And in the taxi.
Details.
And stuff like that. It's just,
I did read something that on some days they only shot 12 frames.
You serious?
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. The other thing is there's only
How
3...
lazy are those guys? What do they work like half an hour?
They need to outsource the shit out of that.
This is written by Charlie Kaufman, who we know from many movies.
The Kaufman films.
Yeah, the Kaufman movies. And notably being John Malkovich and Eternal Sunshine of a Beautiful Mind, was it? Yeah, and so on. So he's always introspective, let's say, in his movies. Yeah. And in this one he is as well. I suppose I better talk about what it's about first. This is about Michael Stone, who's an author that specializes in customer service. And as well as he's able to identify how to treat people, he's unable to make a deep emotional connection with other people. And as the movie goes on, you realize other things about that. He may have a mental state condition about him as well. Because there's sometimes you're thinking, is he in a dream or isn't he in a dream? But then he does have a dream sequence, so you're like, okay, he's not dreaming within a dream, so it's not that, so it keeps you guessing in a way, all the way through the movie. But he's extremely negative about life. He's bored. Everyone talking to him is just annoying him completely. He just doesn't really have time for it, no humor and so on. And then he's at a conference, or he goes to a hotel for a conference, and this is what the movie is about, where he meets somebody and he gets a new perspective, or let's say a new perspective on life, or he finds the person that he's been looking for, or he thinks he's been looking for all this time. So that's kind of the basics, really. There's only 3 voices in this. There's David Thewlis. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'd say most people would know him now from Harry Potter movies, but he's been in loads of movies previously.
What is he in Harry Potter?
He has a wand. And he's very
fired,
English,
Steve.
and he's got. I haven't seen them. I've seen one of them. Yeah, they just
fired.
See, I gave it filler, so I didn't watch any more of them.
I even gave you the book in Irish.
I know, I haven't got to that yet. Jennifer Jason Leigh, of course, is in it. She plays one of the only other voice that isn't voiced by one other guy.
Yeah, because there was a lot of women talking who I thought were men, and in the beginning
especially
of the
when they're on the phone.
Well, in the beginning of the film, I thought that Michael Stone was gay, because I'm like, he's talking to a man who's upset about clearly a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to figure out that it was
his wife
a woman,
he was talking to.
and that Michael was straight.
That's done by Tom Noonan. He actually plays every character except for Michael Stone and the girl Lisa. Yeah.
Greedy bastard.
Yeah. So this kind of surprised me, because after you get past the whole technical aspect of it and how amazing that is, it was actually a really, really good movie. I thought just like Charlie Kaufman's other stuff, the introspective stuff. It's a very honest movie. He's not a particularly nice guy. And he tends to, I don't know, I think he kind of took advantage of people in it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but...
Like, there's some really cringe-worthy moments where you're just like, oh, this is, like...
It's awkward, but it's so true.
Yes.
It's so true. I love that honesty of it. It's like, this is what would happen, awkward conversations in front of somebody else, when it's about them kind of thing. That kind of conversation? Yeah. There
was a moment in the movie, because I was impressed and surprised by how quickly the film established itself as not really being like I equate stop motion with children's stuff, so I really expected something kind of juvenile, and very quickly we have
Wallace and Gromit, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he gets into the hotel room where he's just settling in, and I thought to myself, I'm not yet prepared to see a puppet masturbating furiously to porn. And the next scene we see it's like burned into my brain. Now it's not Michael Stone, but still.
So now you have a puppet thing to go with the clowns,
Yeah. So what you think?
I fucking hated this movie.
Did you?
Yeah,
really?
With a passion. It opens up with him in the back of the taxi, and 20 minutes later, he's just got to his hotel room and ordered some food. I'm like, oh my God, will something ever happen in this damn movie?
Really? You didn't enjoy the storytelling?
No, not at all. It was... And I think Steve mentioned the introspective cinema. I fucking hate introspection.
Really?
Yeah, it was like Friedrich Nietzsche once said, if you stare into the abyss long enough, the abyss starts to stare back at you.
Yeah.
So I don't like thinking about my own head too much.
But didn't Friedrich Nietzsche also say that the past is a repetitive future and that we all must take our doom and become... Stop me, go on.
It's eternal recurrence.
I just couldn't feel any excitement. It felt for me like there was nothing really mattered.
All right.
He's talking on the phone to various people, And it's kind of, okay, is there going to be some kind of conflict or something happening?
Yeah.
And it just didn't.
Yeah.
And then, he has the interaction with the women that he meets in the hotel,
Yeah.
who are obviously big fans of his and whatever.
Yeah.
And throughout that, I just thought, it's not happening. Where's the risk? What's the danger in it?
Don't you? I could tell you, because I was watching that scene and I was thinking, isn't it a bit creepy and sad that this man, like, these women look up to him as a professional mentor?
Yeah.
And is he taking advantage of that to kind of try to fill a void of loneliness in his life? So he goes and gets them drunk, and then, you're kind of thinking, how far is he going to take this? But they've clearly only gone out for a drink with him because, they're huge fans of his work. So to me, when I was watching it, that was the risk. It's just like, are you really ready to blow your professional rep because you're so lonely?
Well, I saw it actually from the opposite point of view. I thought he was so bored, they had actually manipulated him into going for drinks. And he was just...
that's an interesting
killing time.
look angle on it, all right, yeah.
He is so disconnected from the world around him that these people are not really people, and he's
no, what they are. They're. I think we can say this because it's incredible, but they're all the same person in his head.
Yeah,
he sees everyone as the same person.
Yeah,
and it's when he meets her, he goes, ah,
yeah.
But what happened when he met his wife, and what happened when he met what you call her? Amorosi.
Bella.
Yeah. Amorosi, yeah. Was that the same thing?
Well, that's it. It seems like he's been so beaten down by life, he doesn't give a shit about anything. I don't think he's in a place where he's in a position to manipulate anybody.
Right.
Because he's so disconnected from the rest of the world. So anything that happens to him, I don't think is him as the active party. It's the world happening to him, because he's just left the world.
Right, and I think that's what's sort of hinted at with his mental state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. I didn't see it the way you guys did. But
well, there's several things that sort of that kind of threw me. Like, at the start you're looking at a plane, and then it pans out and it's him looking out at the plane. You're sort of going, that was a bit close, and there's no mention of that, like, was he dreaming then, and was he looking at himself from the third person, or, that's really got me thinking. And then you're looking for clues, of course, just like in everything, in conversation and what happened, and so on. Again, can't talk too much about that because it's so good. It's so good, I think, when it's revealed, let's say. Yeah. And there's a lot of thoughts, like, there's a lot of thinking about this after the movie too. And in things like the lyrics in the song in the closing credits, that nearly sums it up and it nearly makes you think, all right, okay, well, I can understand him now, but it still doesn't justify, him being the absolute bastard that he is, like, so.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going to say, like, I will grant you, it is technically fantastic.
It is, it's pretty amazing.
Like you were talking about the shadowing and the texture and everything. Yeah. Fair play to them. They did a mighty job on that. I just thought the story didn't engage me. I didn't feel it.
I was really impressed by how touching the human interaction was, and how, very human it was, which sounds silly to describe a film that way.
It is, because there's no humans in it. Yeah,
because I'm only just realizing as I say it. There's no humans.
But you're
at all.
right. It was.
But you were talking, Steve, about how the film Kaufman kind of does introspective films, and the first thing I thought about was Zach Braff, because we were talking about this when we saw his last film, and we said, okay, well, we know what we get with Zach Braff because he's always looking at big questions and he makes movies from his own perspective and he's exploring ideas. So when you go to see a Zach Braff film, what you're going to get. And this is the same venture in terms of exploration, but he does it with a very different tone. And I really like the way that he looks at the human condition. And the first thing that struck the first time that struck me in the film was when he meets I can't say these names today, Anomolisa.
Lisa.
Bella.
Lisa.
No, Bella.
Bella Amor.
Her.
Yeah. Amor
And,
Bella. Amor Rossi.
You
That was
just
it.
see she joins him for a drink, and like within seconds, I remember thinking to myself explicitly, like, she has got bottomed out self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
And everything from how she tucks her sweater to how
Yeah.
all the things that she tries to tell him, like, oh, when they're agreeing to meet, she's like, oh, I fell a few years ago and I lost a tooth and I have a fake, but I don't think you can tell it's a pretty good one. And she's just so self-conscious before she even sees him, and she's trying to make excuses for all these faults that she thinks he's going to see in her. And then when they do meet, there's all these little things that they bring this character to life that it's just painfully obvious that she's got zero self-esteem. And that type of, very human interaction, I think, is carried through in other parts of the film that was really impressive. I mean, I've seen movies with humans in it that don't do as good a job.
Yeah, it's so true. The writing is really, really strong in this. It's really strong. I might even watch it again. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
But, it's one of these, I think I've missed some stuff as well. There's so much.
I want to see it again.
Yeah. And it's one I'm going to highly recommend.
As Mark always says, I respect your right to be wrong. That's fine.
Sean, you would love this, I think.
From everything you've said about it, I feel like it could be really interesting, but there's a lot of like famous movies that are like that I still haven't seen. So either there's a reason for that in terms of the genres that I'm predisposed towards, or I would just go watch Lost in Translation.
No, you know what? It's much deeper than that.
Yeah, I think Lost in Translation is a bit more ambiguous, and it's kind of meant for you to read into it. And I love the film, but I think that this is a really good film, but in a completely different way.
Yeah, it's much deeper.
Should I
the writing is
Amelie instead of this film?
Should you? What?
Should you what?
Should I see Amelie instead of this film?
No.
No, nobody should ever see Amelie.
No, I would put this ahead of Amelie if you had to watch one.
Yeah.
I will recommend this film to someone whose favorite film is Amelie, and we may have to watch both.
Okay.
This is the covenant that I have made.
You'll have a watch off. Okay. Okay, do you want to mark it or anything else you want to talk about? Can I mention the lighting again?
Yeah. Lighting was
It's
good.
it's just and it's so like there's small things in it, like even the taxi, it's the different bits of glare from not just cars going past and where like he gets dropped off at his house and then you see the taxi lights turning around. They didn't need to do that. You see the different, like the lamp in the bedroom is a different light to the white light coming from the bathroom door. That kind of stuff. It's just the incredible detail.
Yeah.
Incredible detail.
And since we're going to continue raving about the things that really stuck out to us about the film, I really like in the beginning of the film how they use a series of mundane interactions to show how bored he is.
Yeah.
with like the boringness of life, and the irony, of course, being that he is an expert in customer service and he clearly hates the time he has to put in to enduring good customer service. He calls room service and he's just like, yes, yeah. And it just becomes this long drawn out process of them being so good at customer service, and you can just see him. He just wants to be like, fuck off.
Yeah. Look, I'll give you the order. Just, come on.
And between that and the taxi drive and like all these different, him checking into the hotel, all these mundane moments in his life that he's just so bored. And you're just feeling for him, like itching for him to get out of the moment because he's just could not be arsed.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's great. Oh, yeah, and also the movement of the characters. It's so fluid, and it looks like there's just small things. Like he might move his hand to turn around to pick up something, but it looks like someone turning around. It doesn't look like a stop motion someone. It looks like a real person, which is, so cool. I'd highly recommend this, and I'm going to give it a very, very solid 8.
I identified very strongly with the main character in being so bored. Hats off to the technical side of it. If anybody wants to make a stop motion movie, you should be
move it just a tiny amount.
You should be watching this, frame by frame.
Yeah, take another frame, just a tiny amount. Yeah.
But no, I thought the story was really poor. Didn't engage me at all.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it a 4.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
Jesus. This movie I had very low expectations for, and I thought, this is not my thing. I could care less. This is homework for Is It a Bicycle? And I was entranced from the first 5 minutes. So I'm also going to give it a very strong 8.
Excellent.
Camp divided.
Okay, next up is second of our TV, which is Underground. Seamus, tell us a bit about
Underground is a new drama about a bunch of slaves in pre-Civil War America in a plantation trying to make good their escape and go on a 600-mile journey to the north, where they hope they can find refuge and become free men and women. All set against the backdrop of this northern plantation owner who's running for a Senate seat, and his brother, who's staunchly opposed to slavery, is down and may become involved in this campaign.
Yeah. Well, what did you think?
It has an amazing opening. I really, really like that they've chosen to go with anachronistic music.
I love that, yeah.
Just the sound. It was great. It was tracked to Kanye West's Black Skinhead, they basically took something that could have just been, okay, there's, someone running through a forest trying to escape some people. It could have been that, because that would be the kind of thing that would maybe hook people at the start of a show. They wouldn't have had to try anything.
Right.
But they went with that interesting audio aural device. It was really cool. And they do that a few times throughout the show, which I always appreciate whenever that happened. I almost felt myself expecting it and hoping that they were about to start doing something like that. And if they weren't, I'd be kind of like, come on, go do a fun thing with the way you're telling the story. I think it's very interesting. So it's on WGN. It's produced by John Legend. And I was kind of in my head going, why would you be making this story now? Like, after Django Unchained came out, it seemed that people started to turn away from these, stories of plantation slavery in the South.
Yeah.
12 Years a Slave. Like, is this just the TV result of those two movies doing so well at the Oscars a couple of years ago? Or is there some other reason? And what I think it's going to be about is the actual journey itself. There's a great moment at one point where the plantation owner describes in his thick southern drawl that on the fourth day, God blessed him with a fortress because of how difficult it is to get away from his land.
Yeah.
And that he's never had a slave escape. And then I was like, okay, so I can see that. I will or I must accomplish the goal of getting to the north across this 600-mile journey, either through the mountains or whatever. Like, cool. While being pursued, not just by these people from this plantation, but also by any non-slaves that they see. And then there was the whole wrinkle of the Freedom Railroad or the Freedom Passageway, basically a bunch of people trying to help slaves escape.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, there's enough going on here that it might work, but they need to be able to have characters that draw. And there was a great discussion at one point between the black guy in charge of the slaves and the main slave who wants to escape. And there was this psychological power play that does get continued later on in the episode where I just went, that's fucking cool. And then the southern plantation owner, turns out he's not actually southern, and he drops the accent. And I just went, holy shit.
Yeah.
He's doing it because it's popular.
Yeah.
And it was just so different to, I hate black people. Black people are the worst, and I'm going to make them feel bad because I'm a racist, and I'm very bad, and I'll never get my comeuppance. And then they get their comeuppance. So I like that it's more layered than that. So I think there's a lot to say for it.
Yeah, I think you're very right about, hoping that this isn't another Roots, about life on the plantation, and that it's more about the journey to get to the river border, freedom. That would interest me a lot more. It's very strong. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought the writing was really strong. I thought the acting was really good, and I think they do have those characters that you're talking about to draw you in. Yeah, I'm interested in this. Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what it reminds me of? And help me reach back into the storehouse of Is It a Bicycle collective memory. We watched a futuristic version of this story, like dystopia set after the fall of regular civilization, where a bunch of barons had their
Into the Badlands.
Yeah.
Into the Badlands, yeah.
Into the Badlands.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that, right?
Yeah.
And then I realized, holy shit. Into the Badlands is people interested in this story who would much rather discuss it through the lens of science fiction.
Yeah.
And I think I'm the audience who wants to consume this story through the lens of martial arts and science fiction.
Yeah.
So it actually reminded me I need to go finish that show because I still have a couple episodes of that to watch.
So it's really good. I finished it. The season.
Yeah,
it's great.
Dude, because it reminded me so much of Into the Badlands. It reminded me to go watch it. And then I started to wait and hope there would be a martial arts fight of some kind. That's not how people in this show really get what they're doing across. It's much more about running or manipulation. So I don't know. I will say that they still did do a great hook with Christopher Maloney's character. I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
Jesus, lads.
Don't know what show you were watching? Yeah. Okay. Tell us, Mike.
Well, I mean, Sean brought up 12 Years a Slave and Django Unchained, which were both entertaining in their own ways.
Yeah.
This was boring as hell.
Really?
Oh my God. It just took all the good bits of Django Unchained and 12 Years a Slave and just left them out.
Okay.
So we have, so you're a runaway slave. Right, that makes you a good guy. But there's one of the black guys wants to stop you, so he's a bad guy. And then there's a slave owner who's white, so he's a bad guy. But then there's a white guy who wants to help them escape, so he's a good guy.
Right.
And maybe they should have some interactions.
So you followed this closely, yeah?
Yeah.
Go on.
And wouldn't it be great if one of them ever escaped? Because that'd be really exciting, because then they'd be chased, and would they make it? And maybe some people would help them, and they could come to understand that not everybody is bad.
That's kind of how stories work, though, is it not?
Ah, Jesus.
Mike, the voice that you're using can be applied to literally any. Let me just give you a go. You tell me when you know what movie I'm talking about. Okay. Do wouldn't it be great if there was this oppressed group of Celtic people? One of them can tell even from childhood that he's definitely an important, inspirational guy. And what if he grew up and he was a warrior and he came back to his hometown and he shared a look with the girl from that town that you think maybe he might be in love with? And wouldn't it be great if he learned how to fight really well and raised an army? Oh, and wouldn't it be really interesting if he died from it?
And then stuff happened.
But funnily enough, even in that voice, that sounds like a much better fucking show than this.
I think that's
it's
one of Sean's.
Basically the same story.
I don't know, boys. I don't know. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I just didn't. Sorry.
I see. I think, what do you call it? I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Actually.
There were some great.
I think you're wrong.
There were some great six packs in it. There were some great birthing scenes.
There was some tragedy, all right.
There was some good whipping.
Yeah.
Oh God! As a history buff, let's just. As a history buff, Mike, what did you think about it?
I've little or no interest in American history, to be honest.
Not even. I guess I meant the anachronistic music that they used. Did you find that did anything in any way for the story or against it?
The opening scene, certainly, I agree with you, was very, very much magnified in its impression by the use of the music. Not so much through the rest of the show. But certainly the opening scene, I'll grant you that. That was very powerful. But it wasn't enough to rescue it for me. I was just... I was like, oh, come on. Is anything going to happen?
I think this is another one of these that you went into, your arms folded up, as Mark will point out now and again. You went in there, folded up, you had a big haunch on you, and you went, fucking have to watch this.
Well,
Seen the slave stuff before, and I'm just sick of it.
I will admit, I did watch this after Anomalisa.
Okay. So you're right on the mood.
Yeah. I was already like, fuck these movie makers. Fucking trying to tell us fucking stories. you fucking
Okay.
bastards.
Okay. Okay. So that's filler from you then, I guess.
Yeah, I think so, Mar.
Sean, I presume you're going to watch more of this. Or have you already?
The reason I brought up that history buff thing is I was really involved. I was like, yeah, episode 2, here we go. But then at one point, there's a child with a baseball glove, and those weren't invented till after the Civil War. So I'm afraid it's filler for me. I'm not going to be able to support something with such egregious lack of attention to detail. No, Steve.
But it wasn't actually a fully modeled baseball glove, though. It was like a precursor. Maybe they invented it,
so
John.
You were paying attention. I think that Into the Badlands being out there and shows like that make me want, like, it's purely just a genre thing. It's the only reason. If there was more stuff like the opening and the closing, I think I'd be more into it. Like, there's a bit where they do this getting the gang together series of shots, like a montage thing, and I went, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That brings the total over the course of 56 minutes to 4 things.
Yeah.
Where I was like, that's cool. And the in-between bits I could take or leave.
Yeah.
So I just didn't think it had enough.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it another go. Now, Into the Badlands, I'd be interested to hear what your take on it is, or if you make it through the series. Because I don't think it'll appeal to everyone, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's as strong as this, even. The potential that this has, let's say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you think Underground's got a lot of potential?
Yeah.
You're going to delve deeper.
Yeah.
It's a topography joke. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
I got you. Yeah, I'm gonna go check it more. Yeah. Anyway, I'd recommend it. Okay. So next up, we've got some previews and coming to a bicycle near you. Okay, so the first one we saw was The Huntsman Winter's War.
The prequel to Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah. This looks good.
This has been coming for ages, has it not? I did
probably
a
since the
news
last
story about that back when I was doing news stories. You remember when the news used to be good?
Oh, yeah. Back then.
So this is like the fairy tale Snow White
Yeah.
with no 7 dwarves. It's just the Huntsman. Is it Snow White or is it Red Riding Hood?
It's Snow White.
Snow
She's
White,
the
yeah.
warrior, though.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Yeah.
So instead of having an evil queen, who's the evil queen, we have her sister, who is Elsa from Frozen.
I get it now. Yeah. What was I going to say? It's a very good looking family, I have to say.
It certainly is.
Isn't it? Mm-hmm. Fairest of them all involved in it, even, you know?
Ugh.
Yeah.
This is going to be shit.
Amazing.
Oh, come on. It's got a superhero in it. You're going to love
fucking
it.
Thor is in it. Jesus.
Yeah, just because he
With
doesn't have
his
his jocks
top
on the
off.
outside,
Yeah.
you know?
It's being really dramatic about some shit that Mark is correct. Literally did happen in Frozen. Yet in Frozen, it had far more subtlety and singing along potential.
Topless Thor.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I give so few shits about Chris Hemsworth.
Maybe you don't, but I'm just going to say it again. Topless Thor.
Yeah, it looks.
There
like
is a
the Huntsman's
demographic
character.
that matters a lot to.
It looks like the Huntsman's character is that he hits things.
Yeah.
So I'm not
People have won
gonna
Oscars for less.
And he gets as much training as your man from Arrow, you know? So,
Yep.
yeah.
Topless Captain Kirk's daddy.
Okay, we get the idea. So you're excited then, Mark?
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it looks all right, actually.
Mm-hmm.
For a superhero,
Nah.
maybe. You know? Yeah.
Shona, did you not hear the thing I kept repeating?
I would watch other movies with half-naked men, and I would skip this one.
But
It's got Emily Blunt in it. I'm obviously
Who
going to watch
cares?
it.
Actually, you got a good dose
A
of
bunch of
naked men
bland,
in
boring
Anomalisa, didn't you?
people being bland really loudly.
Oh. In
Yeah.
ice.
I think we should move off this before reductive man's powers go out of control.
Okay, next one. Ben-Hur. How cool is that, Luca?
Holy shit, it's Gladiator only with chariots instead of an arena.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah.
class. It's
Tale
the
of-
film I always wanted but didn't even know.
Tale of revenge, love, killing,
See,
murder.
no, this is a film that maybe is ripe for a remake. You know, this isn't like The Crow where it's way too soon. It's like Ben-Hur I've never seen, but I know it's a big deal. So now I get to see the new version.
I think you're right. You know? Yeah.
This is a well-timed remake.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to leave it, 50 years? 60 years? Something like that?
A while.
Yeah.
I don't know what statute of limitations is. I think it's in direct proportion to how much money people could make from it. And that's it. I think that's the only thing.
Do you know, I heard someone say once, how long until they remake Harry Potter? Can you imagine that's going to happen one day?
Oh, God.
Because it will.
Just going to
Because
make
it's a
more
classic.
movies in that world, though.
Do you think? I think
They
this will
already
eventually become Pride and Prejudice, and we're gonna see who's the new Harry Potter. And 20 years from now, our kids will be going to see the new remake of Harry Potter.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies just came out a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one we saw is one called Back in the Day.
Michael
Yeah,
Ness.
boxing film.
Boxing movie. Yay.
I suspect there's not going to be
Yay!
enough boxing.
I know. There seems to be a lot of knockouts. I didn't quite follow what was going on in this.
It's
It's just someone reminiscing. Isn't it?
Kid who wants to be a boxer grows up to be a boxer and then talks about it.
Yeah, I'm with Sean on this. I think
Yeah?
it's going to be a bit like navel gazing to be.
No, I did not say that. I'm looking forward to this. I just said this is about a kid who grows up to wanting to be a boxer and then becomes a boxer.
Who also
like
spends a lot of his
like
time
I
topless.
said, I agree with Shona. It's going to be very navel gazing and not an effective boxing film, I think.
Well, it's got boxing in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael Madsen, I don't know.
There's an underdog.
Yeah.
Here's the rundown, right, from IMDb, right? A young boxer is taken under the wing of a mob boss after his mother dies and his father's run out of town for being an abusive alcoholic. Boom.
Alec Baldwin's in this.
Alec Baldwin, Michael Madsen, Shannon Doherty. No way.
Oh, wow.
Danny Glover.
She must have been the mother. Danny Glover's in it.
Isn't he too old for this shit?
Mike Tyson's in it. Yeah, Danny
2 weeks for
Glover.
retirement.
Yeah. I don't know.
The trailer was good right up until Mike Tyson came in. I was just like, "What? Why is he here?"
No,
And
that
then
made
kind
it
of
for me.
ruined it. Really?
Made it, yeah. We can't beat Mike. Mike rocks.
He's done too much self-parody comedy now for me to take him seriously as actually that boxer.
You ever took him seriously? Come on,
Well,
really.
no,
It's Mike.
but,
He
you
never
know.
wants to be taken seriously. Yeah. He's just a big
Don't
cuddly
take
killer.
his crimes or his personality seriously at any point.
Yeah. He paid for all of those.
Or his face tattoos.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
such a good
they took
decision.
him. They took him pretty seriously in 1983 when he knocked out Michael Spinks in 3 rounds.
I think you're right.
I
Pretty
think
sure he'd
this looks
still
like,
hammer us if it came to it.
I think this looks like a generic boxing movie, but I think that the crime element and the dramatic stuff with the mom is going to be focused on a lot, which I think maybe might be what Mark is saying, that it won't be all about like just box, be not the best at boxing, then get better at boxing, then beat the best boxer. There'll probably be slightly less of the boxing part in this. There is a picture of Apollo Creed in his room when he's a kid, which I think is cool.
Ah,
I like that. It's still not going to be as good of a movie as Creed,
yeah.
but it could be fun, maybe.
Like all boxing movies, this is going to stand or fall on the quality of its montage.
Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely.
Nice one, Mike.
So, John from Athenry in Ireland asks Sean, as you are a writer who seems to be keeping very busy, is there anything out there we could watch that would feature you or was written by you or something of that nature?
Well, yeah. If you so chose, you could check out on the Offline Film Festival website. They actually have a short film we made in 48 hours that I wrote called Pull, about just a relationship between a couple. based around beer. Yeah.
Cool.
Where did you get your inspiration?
So that would definitely be something worth checking out. Any other films, I think, would have to have an NSFW. But I can, rack my brain and try and think of some stuff to tweet out at a later date.
Okay.
Thanks, Sean. Dear Bicycasters, what is your go-to genre when looking for a random movie to watch? Keep up the good work, Aideen in Edinburgh.
Post-apocalyptic.
Comedy.
Oh, yeah. Comedy, post-apocalyptic.
No, Steve, you'd be looking for international.
International comedy.
Subtitled, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
I actually do browse the action genre.
Do you?
Yeah.
And then if there's nothing new there that I like, ideally post-apocalyptic. Like, I don't know. I think, Mike, were you being serious?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would genuinely look for post-apocalyptic stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and then if there's nothing in the drama genre, I look for thriller.
Really?
Yeah, I like thriller too, actually. I do
never
like
watched
my detective duos.
It's your dirty little secrets.
Yeah, dirty little secrets, yeah. Any
Those
more,
are all
Mark?
good.
Yeah.
I like all of those.
Yeah.
Superheroes is what I would add. Or
Super.
normal people who think they're superheroes. It's a great micro-genre.
I think we've one more, Steve.
Have you?
Hi, Bicycle Crew. There is a wave of VR coming to the mass market this year.
Ooh.
How do you think this is going to affect TV and film? Is it the new 3D? That's from Rory in Suffolk.
So, I don't know if you guys have seen the video that's going around, but it was on Facebook. Just with your phone, you can take a ride on a speeder from Star Wars.
Yeah.
In Jakku, the planet where Rey is at the start of Star Wars Force Awakens. You can look anywhere with the phone, left, right, up, down, anywhere, and it will show you, like, it's complete 360. That shit's amazing.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like, I can imagine action scenes that would be amazing. I think everyone immediately thinks about porn. But I just don't know.
Well, porn is
Like,
going to
I
lead
don't
this for definite. That's where the most money is. Porn is by far is going to drive this technology for sure.
Well, porn has driven almost all technologies when it comes to filmmaking, including 3D.
Yeah. The other thing was, that headset that you're talking about comes with you can get it as part of the new Samsung S7, but there's a cardboard version out that I bought last year, Google Cardboard. And it does exactly the same job, and it's like, you think you can get it for like $10, something like that. Yeah, but they're fantastic. It's fantastic. The 3D, just using your phone as the screen, is amazing, and it works surprisingly well. The new Samsung Galaxy S7 and the 360, you can actually buy the 360 camera is coming out soon. So essentially, what we're going to be able to do, right? And I heard Joe Rogan talking about this during the week, incidentally. Say we're doing the podcast here. All right, we can put the 360 camera over there in the corner on the seat. So you can wear your VR gear. Let's say you're in Vegas there, Sean, and Mark is up in Letterkenny. And so if you wear your VR thing there, it will feel to you as though you're sitting in the room with us, right? So if we have a link to that stream just from that camera online, anyone can sit there in the room with us. And watch us have this conversation or whatever. But it's unlimited when you think about it. It's not just going to be like recorded media that's going to be the exciting thing. I think it's the live stuff that's really going to be amazing.
I kind of agree and kind of disagree. I think it's going to be all about video games. It's going to be all about video games for me anyway, right?
Okay, yeah.
But that seems to be where most of the speculation is at the minute that I've heard about. But of course, with my interest in games, I'd probably noticed that first. So the Oculus Rift has been around for ages.
Yeah.
I know out of, what's that Japanese games? Was it GDC? Game Developer Conference? Was that the one that was on last week?
I don't know.
Or was it? Anyway, it must have been the one in Japan. Whatever the Japanese game conference is. They priced the Sony VR. PlayStation
VR. For the
VR.
PlayStation, yeah, that's out in the summer, isn't it?
I think it's more towards the time when the leaves are dropping from trees.
All right, okay.
Fall.
Autumn.
The correct answer was fall. They price it 400 USD or 400 euro because they don't do exchanges.
Okay.
350 GBP, I think, something like that. But you would have to buy the PlayStation camera as well. And the Oculus, I think, is something like $700.
It's even more, I think. I think it's closer to 800. Because they're talking about this. And with the Oculus, you need a very, very high-end PC.
Yeah.
You know, that's... I think there's another version out there as well that's similar to the Oculus, but again, you need a high-end PC, especially for games. But the beauty of the PS4 is that it's by Sony. It's not going to break the bank, you know. I think they'll actually be shipping them with new PS4s as well.
And they ship with a kind of a black boxed external processor so that the
Awesome.
the PS4 can slave some of the processing off to that.
Wow. That's clever. But I'm super excited about the phone one anyway because it's going to be so accessible. But in the recording, I was reading also on how they're going to do, like, let's say that they're talking about The Office, right? Let's say you have a scenario like that, The Office, the TV program, right? Or a TV series, where they would have a camera in the room, but it's actually being able to move it around the room, so you get that effect that you're actually in it. Right, rather than sat like in the center stage of a play. You know what I mean? Like they could do that, but it wouldn't be as good if you're able to, you know, manipulate your environment, let's say, or move around in it. So they haven't quite figured that one out yet, unless you're led on a path, you know.
And I reckon in about 6 or 7 years, Steve will be so frustrated with my old phone that he will give me his then old S7 so I can catch up with this shit. So I'll let you know then what I think about it.
There's actually 2 TED Talks from TED 2016 that'd be worth watching. One is a guy actually working with holograms as opposed to with VR, like pre-recorded sets.
Oh, okay, wow.
But the other one is a dude had Google Cardboard and everyone in the audience got one and watched a film together.
Yeah.
So you saw these people like all looking around in different places and like, you know,
Yeah.
So for example, they were in a helicopter and one of them, he's one of like big filmmakers who's made a lot of these 360 ones.
Yeah.
So it showed like helicopters. So you saw everyone doing very similar things. You know, you saw people like at a soccer match and people were all following the ball. But it's been used for quite some time as well in art and political art. I don't even know what the word would be. Experiences.
Yeah.
So like they did a thing to try and get people to, I guess it's an empathy experiment, but they gave people these headsets where they could be in this war-torn location in the Middle East.
Right.
Like actually to have them see what conditions were like and see people and like follow this path and see, you know, what's going on and listening to conversations, et cetera, et cetera.
Cool.
And then just being going like, yeah, that was recorded a week ago. Oh, you know, like to actually have them get close to something like that, even though they live, you know, wherever else in the world.
Yeah. Wow. The other thing, just the last point on this, if you haven't checked it out before, check out on YouTube on the left-hand side in the menu, there's YouTube 360 and you'll find loads of these videos and they don't look too bad actually on the flat screen. Mm-hmm. But when you put it on the Google Cardboard, it's just a completely different experience. It's really amazing. And there's one from the Swiss Air Force where you open the jet with them and you can look over at the other guy in the jet beside you, you know, and this kind of stuff, you know, and you're
oh shit, there's the border.
Yeah. or you can, you know, there's one where you're at like a music concert and you're in the middle of the crowd, and it's amazing. It's really amazing stuff. Anyway, thanks for all the mailbag questions. Keep them coming.
So mail us on podcast@isitabicycle.com.
Cool. Or tweet us at isitabicycle. So I guess that's it. We'll leave it there. Thanks to everybody for listening. Not going to thank you. So from Mike, Mark, Steve, Sean, and Shona, stay classy.